I'd start and just say, as probably the project that's in its infancy as opposed to a project that's been in place for 25 years, we have just recently worked through the permitting process. We've had to rely on our friends and neighbors for support. SITLA, State Institutional Trust Lands, has been a great partner of ours, and the state of Utah has been a great partner. Without our friends, without the state, we would not be sitting here today moving this project forward. That is no small thing in today's world where everybody's polarized. So we like to think that we've got a project that makes sense, that people can get behind, and that's being demonstrated day after day. And we have a lot of people to thank as we move forward.
Excellent.
You know, Craig, I'm sorry, did you want to go?
No, you go right ahead.
Craig, thank you. Craig started out with a concept here of the pioneer spirit and storage, and how Magnum is able to store natural gas and even compressed air from some gas generation in the ground and utilize it at will. And that's really a great concept. One of the things that has made the Intermountain Power Project very successful for the state of Utah is in the fact that it has also been a storage program for the 23 Utah municipalities that own the project, in the sense that they have had the benefit of excess power sales contracts in place since inception, so that when they want to call back their energy and the related cost of that energy, they could do so almost at will. So to fit their growing needs on their power curve, demand curve, they've been able to recall energy and capacity from the project from time to time.
So we're back to this concept of the rainy day fund.
It's the rainy day fund in place for the Utah munis. It's been a very good backstop for them. If they've had a surge of growth in their communities that they might not be able to accommodate through some other importation of power, their IPP power has always been there that they could recall and satisfy those power demands.
Okay, Ted, you were about to say something, and I can tell you're excited about it.
Yeah, I want to go back to transmission lines. And these guys have done a great job at IPP in providing that trunk power corridor. But I think it's very tough in the industry today to capitalize transmission and also to site, partly because some people don't like to see lines next to their house or their business or whatever, or their cities. And I think the state needs to do a better job helping that siting. And I think also that we've got to do this to help with capitalization, because we can't do a lot of renewables without it. In order to have a specific wind area like you've got, or to have a specific solar area, we've got to have a line to get it to the grid. And assuming the grid's big enough to carry. And so those are things that I think the industry faces, state needs to work on, and that we need to have a lot of incentives on.
Excellent.
Right. A load center is needed, transmission is needed, and then production is needed. And I think a lot of times what happens is we pit one energy source against the other. And as a school teacher, I really try not to do that at all. When I go to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, I want the light to come on. But I believe there is a place for broadening our portfolio.
There are a whole bunch of things that could have been said there. I'm glad none of us said any of them.
But, you know, if we're investing, we want a broad portfolio. And I think our energy portfolio should look the same. And in corridors where we have good solar, good geothermal, I think they need to be developed. And we do have good coal resources. In fact, I graduated from Emery County High School, grew up in Kanab. I was supposed to work at the Kaparowitz Plateau and mine coal in my day. But anywhere that I've lived, if we don't develop the resources, our education falls short. If we can educate our kids and get them good jobs, I think that is the most important resource that we can consider. So, be it renewables, be it fossil fuels.
It's probably important to consider that without projects like this, many rural communities' biggest export is going to be the talent of their youth.
Our youth, exactly. Exactly.
And that's that's probably not a good commodity to be exporting, or at least I'm sure with Utah.
Well, they are a good commodity, but we don't want to
be exporting is the
Right,
emphasis.
okay.
Do a lot of exporting.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
true. Just out of curiosity, what do you teach?
Oh, I'm an old-fashioned shop teacher, but I'm supposed to call myself an engineering and technology teacher. I do teach physics in a small school, 7th through 12th grade. You do what you have to do, and quite frankly, I love every bit that I do. So I teach 6 different subjects during the day, one of which is an energy class, and renewable energy is a big part of that class. So it is a renewable energy class.
Just for the people that took the time and interest to actually tune in for this extended portion, you got an energy center that you're developing.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about that, because it's already on my list. I haven't been through Milford in a number of years. I won't even say how many, but it has to do with when my dad used to pick between 89 and the other route to get to Cedar City. So I'm sure it's changed a lot, but this has put it back on my list of go-to places. So
Oh, good.
Tell me
good.
about
Especially April 28th, our Renewable Energy Fair at the high school. That's our big event of the year. We showcase the renewable energies around Milford. The center kind of was incubated, or an idea, around 2003 after we knew that developers were interested in the wind. We've been producing renewable energy there for years with the Blundell geothermal plant just 10 miles to the north on the hill. Razor geothermal to our south. Circle 4 Farms, probably one of the largest hog farms in the United States, put in a biofuels plant. Now, it's dormant right now, but they've got another contract and they want to start producing electricity with the hog effluent. And then we have great solar capacity.
I like the way you put that. It makes it sound so proper, hog affluent.
Well, you know, if I were a student, I'd probably say poo gas, but I won't say that here. But anyway, we have all of these renewable energies and phenomenal energy sources within a 50-mile radius. In fact, the Wawa Ranch, you know where that is, 20 miles to our west, is completely run off of hydropower. They're in the middle of the desert, 2 center pivots, 2 homes, a ranch, completely run off of hydropower, which in my book is so sustainable and so cool, and yeah.
By the way, we've received a request to transmit 5 megawatts of energy from that farm down in Southern
really?
California.
Wow. It's kind of neat to see how this all is working together. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's good stuff.
So, Craig, how much potential is there in this compressed air storage capacity? I mean, I can't imagine anybody not liking that as an idea. You know.
2 points. One, the Utah legislature last year recognized compressed air energy storage as a renewable. That's a great first step. Again, showing how the state and the community has gotten behind this. 2, the limiting factor is not the body of salt in which you will store the air, it's the transmission that Jim was talking about from the site. It's all utility scale equipment, 138 megawatt blocks. You can line up as many of those as you can. Land's not a limiting factor. The salt's not a limiting factor. Transmission is, getting back to Ted's point.
Yeah.
Why is salt so important as a medium in which to store?
That has been the standard medium, if you will, for storing the air. It's a perfect way to do it. There are other ways, but the most efficient is to use salt, because you can design it specifically to the size and shape that you need to facilitate the technology, as opposed to a depleted reservoir or some other cavern or void you might have.
Doesn't leak.
Yeah, it doesn't leak, and it's self-sealing.
So do people who work at the plant, does their blood pressure go up because there's too much exposure to salt? just a question.
Well, on that point, that's a great one. Our lease with the state, we have our own fee ground, but we have a lease with the state, precludes us from storing any type of hazardous waste. So let's just get that up front. So this isn't a Trojan horse for nuclear storage or some other thing that nobody wants in their backyard. That's all excluded, period.
So when you're releasing stored compressed air to run a turbine,
yes.
If you stand at the exhaust port, does it smell like the ocean?
Let's build one and find out.
Well, there are a lot of seagulls hanging out around that property, we've noticed.
Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Thank you very much for doing this.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
Thank you for
Wonderful,
participating.
yeah,
This has
thanks.
been a great
Good to be with you.
conversation. All right, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Okay.
All right, well, that concludes it.
I guess we better
Obviously-
de-wire, huh?
Yeah, you sure should. Be sure to join us at any time you'd like for the county seat online.